The acrid stench of wet asphalt filled the midnight air as the grinding roar of a bulldozer jolted me awake. I stumbled to my window, only to see flashing lights and men in reflective vests, tearing into the foundation of my brand new garage. Karen, the HOA president, stood proudly with her clipboard, her smug smile illuminated by the street. Neighbors peeked from behind blinds, whispering, too afraid to act. She claimed my garage violated aesthetic standards and announced ruinous daily fines until I tore it down. My children cried as sparks flew, bricks tumbled, and dust choked the air. They thought they were crushing me. They thought I was just another homeowner at their mercy. But what they didn't know was that I am the mayor of this city. Years before that night, I poured every ounce of sweat and sacrifice into building a life here. My wife and I worked double shifts to afford this home, and when our children were born, that garage became more than storage. It became the dream space for family projects, late-night carpentry, and the safe haven where memories would be built. Every brick was personal. This wasn't just property. It was legacy. But the HOA didn't care. At the next meeting, Karen declared my garage an eyesore, dismissing our pleas. She spoke with venom, calculating the fines she could squeeze from us. I saw my neighbors shifting uncomfortably, yet no one dared defy her. That was the moment the battle lines were drawn. The HOA had made their first bold move, and I was ready to strike back. The following weeks felt like war. Bright red violation notices papered my front door. The metallic clang of mailboxes being slammed shut echoed down the block. Fines mounty $500 a day, then $1,000 with interest added by the minute. Karen's perfume, sharp and synthetic, lingered in the air every time she prowled past my driveway, snapping pictures with her phone. Rumors spread like wildfire. They said I was broke, corrupt, even dangerous. Some neighbors stopped waving. Others looked down in shame. Then came sabotage. Bolts of my garage door loosened, tires slashed, garbage dumped across my lawn. Each insult stung deeper. Each assault cut closer to home. And yet, through the humiliation, through the rage, I stayed silent, because silence was my greatest weapon. By day, I remained the quiet homeowner Karen thought she could crush. By night, I became something else entirely. As mayor, I had access to the city's records, the legal statutes, and every zoning ordinance the HOA claimed to control. Their power was built on sand, and I began digging into every rotten pillar. I gathered evidence of embezzled funds, illegal fines, and fraudulent votes. Whispers of their corruption reached sympathetic ears. Neighbors who once feared Karen now slipped me documents, recordings, and testimony. Local reporters called me, intrigued by the story of a tyrannical HOA gone too far. The tide was shifting, though Karen didn't see it yet. She thought she had silenced me, but in truth, the city itself was now listening. The HOA's final move came swift and brutal. One evening, under the cover of darkness, they staggered an emergency vote to seize my property, claiming the land for community use. Armed with hired contractors, they tried once more to tear down my garage, laughing as bricks fell and dust clouded the air. But this time, I was waiting. With cameras rolling, neighbors gathered, and reporters broadcasting live. I walked forward not as a homeowner, but as their mayor. I read aloud the charges: fraud, illegal taxation, and misuse of funds. Police cars roared in, sirens screaming, as officers handcuffed the very board that once bullied us. For the first time, Karen's smug smile shattered, replaced with the pale mask of defeat. In the weeks that followed, the HOA crumbled. Karen faced charges of fraud and theft. Their accounts were frozen, their fines overturned, their power dissolved. My garage stood tall, repaired and stronger than ever. Neighbors once afraid now laughed freely on their porches, waving as children played on lawns unshadowed by tyranny. But victory wasn't just legal, it was emotional. My family slept peacefully again. The community thrived. Property values rose, and I used restitution funds to build a new park for everyone. The sun set golden on our block, no longer ruled by fear but by freedom. And as I closed my journal on this chapter, I asked myself, Andy, now what would you do if your HOA tried to destroy you? Have you ever faced a Karen like this?